Okay, we're gonna just make a real quick video on how the coil, the white plastic coil clip, and the motor all connect together. If anything pops out on you, it's very easy to put it back in place. There's no tools or anything required. It all just snaps in and snaps off. So the coil here, see, there's a little cutout right here, and on your actual black coil, if you give it a twist, you can just pop it right out of there. So see, it has a little cutout there, and then this little tab, and you just kind of got to line it up. The only thing to remember is if this pops off, just kind of get the one side of the coil in this groove in here, you know, over the groove. So you would kind of like line it up, kind of get over that little bottom hump down there, and then just kind of lock, and it'll just snap in place. That's all it is. You know, you can only snap it in place one way. Like if I try to twist it the other way, it doesn't snap in. It looks like it's in, but it's really not. So you just kind of give it a spin to the right generally. It will depend though if it's a right or left coil, but I think you get the idea there. Now the other thing too is if I go around the back here, so this little spring, if you push this in, that doesn't remove the coil. This is to push it in and you can twist it to kind of adjust the tips of your coil. Like, see how this tip here is a little high compared to this one? So if I was to push in the spring, I can twist that just so it's a little bit more like how that tip is. However, if we want to get the whole coil out, you simply press these two little tabs and you push in. See, that's all it is to it. There's just the coil. This is the coiled clip, and it just has these two tabs there on the side. You just pinch those. And it's the same thing to pop it back in. You just kind of snap it in place. Now, if you notice here, on our little, there's like these little flat spots. Generally, that's kind of how I want these little tabs to go in. So I like to line this up. Now, you necessarily don't have to do this, but I think it makes it a little bit more secure. So there you go. You see how I'm in there right on the flat, on the little flat? There's two ways it can go. So I like to get mine hooked in like that. And then if I need to adjust the tip, I push in on my spring, and I just, it's a little awkward to do with one hand here, but I think you get the idea of what we're doing. Okay, so there you go. So it's real easy. All this stuff just pops in and out. Now, alternatively, let's say we want to pop this out. I just push in on these little things, push that through. The motors just kind of snap in place. So there's like a little, they all have like a little thing here at the top, a little tab. Just push down, and that's all it is to it. So as you can see, you just line it back into these little slits and snap it back in place. Just make sure your little cable's out of the way. Little cables up there, make sure those are out of the way. And it just snaps in. Now, the important thing to remember though, especially like if you have a custom tray like this where there's some bigger slots, you'll notice that there's a little logo here. This one has no logo, this one has a logo. You know, it's usually every other. This one's missing a motor, but you know, no logo and logo. So if you're doing a wide slot, just be mindful, because if this pops all the way out and it's dangling, you can actually put these in either way, but it'll change the rotation of the coil. So if you're doing a regular default, if you're doing like a default one, all of these backs are going to be the same. If it's like a default tray, usually the default trays have like a dual motor, but if you have a wide slot, they go every other usually. Just FYI, I don't know if, you know, these motors don't usually pop off, but if it happens to pop off, you know, just be mindful if it's logo or no logo. Usually the real wide slots or anything that's not a default slot is going to be like every other. So like just look at the one next to it. If the next one is flat, then make this one with the logo sticking out. You know, and then if it's a default tray, they should all probably be with the logo out or the logo in, all of them. But that's really all there is to it. Everything just snaps out of place. You know, there's not a whole lot you have to do. You might want to pull the tray out if it's your motor, but you can kind of just reach behind there and snap it into place. So you really don't even have to pull the tray out, especially if it's just the coil or the little coil clip. You know, again, I just try to line up where my little flat spot is for my little things there. And yeah, that doesn't really come through on camera. There, I'm on those. So see, it all just snaps together. But yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to let us know. Thank you.